next issue of Mark Spears' Monsters. Chilling. Very scary. Alright, just reading Mark Spears' Monsters. Great modern comic book and definitely cool, creepy artwork in that. So, welcome to the Mother's Day weekend LiveSCREAM. I guess this is the part where I play Norman Bates for the weekend, and I guess I'll need to find Mother. Welcome everyone to the chat tonight. Kristen Marie, David, Sherry, Will, Valerie. Hope you're all doing well this weekend. October, welcome into the chat. Lots going on this week. 2 days ago, we got the drop that Michaels has the exclusives for the Lemax Spooky Town collection. And if you all got a chance to see the video today, definitely some cool pieces that are coming out for the Michaels exclusives for 2026. And as you probably saw from my responses and replies in the comments, I am all for the DJ Decay roller rink. Super cool piece. Can't wait to see that in store. But I know it's going to be probably a $200 piece. So unfortunately, I'll just window shop and admire it from afar. Let's see. David says, missed the last stream, but made it tonight. All good, David. You're here tonight. That's all that matters. Valerie, hey y'all. Great to see you. Kirsten Marie, hey October. Hey Draven. Laura, hey Derek. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you also, Laura. Let's see. Joe's 007. Welcome into the chat. Little Red Flying Fox. I'm just lurking in the background. That's all right, Little Red Flying Fox. You're lurking in the background. I'm just lurking on the screen. So you lurk in the background and I'll just creep around up here on the screen for the next hour. So another giveaway tonight. Now, I wasn't planning on doing a giveaway this weekend, but as you saw in the community post, I figured since it's Mother's Day weekend, and I get that not everyone is a mother to a child. Some people are a mother to a horse, a dog, a cat, a lizard, a fox, whatever. If you commented on the video, you're entered in to the hat tonight for a chance to win one more set of Bystal cutouts. And then probably next week, if it keeps going the way it's going, I'll probably be doing another giveaway because we're probably going to hit 5,000 Spooky Family members by next week because we're at 45 and some change right now. So if we gain another 400 and something in the next week or two, most likely there'll be another giveaway in a week or two. So stay tuned because if you don't win tonight, you probably got another chance to win coming up pretty soon. So I'm going to try to catch some of the chat tonight because the last few weeks I've been kind of just rambling on and you guys have all been talking amongst yourselves, which is completely cool. I know, Will, it's hard to believe. 5Ks coming up. Chad, thanks for joining into the chat tonight. Casket Crew, thanks for joining in. Mary Beth, thanks for joining in. 4K Media Guy, Sarah, happy Friday night to you. Juniper's Edge, hi from Oregon, hi from North Carolina. On my end, glad to have you all here on a Friday night with me tonight. I'm sure there's a million other things that you all could be doing tonight. You all could be at DJ Decay's Rink of Terror, but you're here with me instead tonight. And for that, I definitely thank you. So touch base real quick, like I do every week, give you a rundown and a recap of what happened this week and what's coming up next week before we get to the big giveaway. So, of course, Barb, thanks for joining in tonight. Athena, thanks for joining in tonight. Spooky Horror Goddess. I keep telling Spooky Horror Goddess, guys, she's about like me. She's got a massive vintage collection. I keep telling her she needs to do a channel. Her and her husband, Tommy, cool people. They've got great stuff. I think they would do great over on YouTube. So if you ever see them here in the chat, hound them and tell them you want to see some of their collection because it's cool stuff. Peggy, thanks for joining in also from Oregon tonight. So recap, quick rundown. This week was primarily a food week. It was a food week. We started off with Burger King and McDonald's with the Happy Meal and the Star Wars meal. And I know some of you enjoy the food reviews. Some of you tune in just for the Halloween and the retro. But the thing about this channel is it's kind of a mixed bag of all kinds of fun retro stuff. So something that may not appeal to you appeals to others, but eventually there's going to be something hopefully that sparks your interest, and you'll stay tuned to the channel for the next video. And next week, besides one video, stepping away from the food reviews next week, because thankfully I don't think there's anything coming out. So my diet gets to kind of stay in line next week. I don't have to hit the drive-through as much. The only food review next week, Juniper's Edge said, you hear Bath and Body Works is doing a black and white circus theme. I haven't heard that yet, Juniper's Edge. And the only thing I've heard, and I don't know if it's Halloween related or Summerween related, is I know next week in stores they get the Star Wars drop. It dropped online May 4th, Monday, but I keep hearing that they're going to do a Nightmare Before Christmas line at Bath and Body Works. I haven't heard anything confirmed about the circus theme yet, but you know how the rumor mill goes in the Halloween community. Sometimes stuff leaks, and possibly, if that is the case, then you dropped it here first, and thank you for that. Valerie says, yes, I'm glad he reviewed it, so I didn't have to spend my 30 bucks. Technically, Valerie, I'm making myself sleep better at night by saying my jury duty prepaid card paid for it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So technically, I feel like I didn't spend my own money. I spent the county's money from the jury duty money, so there we go. Let's see, Gene says, love the food reviews, need a loan to go to Burger King. Exactly. Take a second mortgage out on your house just to buy a Burger King meal now. Like I said in the video, a family of four, if you all wanted the Star Wars meal, $100 to go to Burger King to eat a family dinner. No. Ultimately, that's why fast food is going to end up ruining itself, because I was thinking about this. If you follow the channel, I did the Denny's Masters of the Universe meal, and me and my sister both ate, two people, two meals for around $22. Two people. It's less than what Burger King was charging for one meal. So, ridiculous. I just can't get on board with that, but thankfully, the McDonald's meal, Happy Meal, was around the same price, $5. Hasn't changed a whole lot, although I do remember as far back as 10 years ago when Happy Meals were $2.99 when I would take my daughters there and get them Happy Meals. Exactly. Kirsten Marie is crazy that Denny's is cheaper than fast food, but that's becoming the way it is at most restaurants now. Most restaurants now are cheaper than fast food. Never thought I'd see the day that that would happen. Even Olive Garden, if you get like a $20 meal, they'll even run a promotion where it's a $20 meal and you buy one and you take one for free. So go figure. See, Katang, the prices at Burger King for that meal was bad. Beyond bad. Spooky Horror Goddess tried Denny's for the first time. Super cheap and good. Yeah, and it's super filling too, Horror Goddess. I mean, you can fill up on pancakes and you're all carved up and you're ready to go for the rest of the day if you go to Denny's. So it's definitely worth the money. Gail, welcome into the chat tonight. Glad to have you here in the live stream. Barb says, I could make 6 meals off that Burger King meal if I order everything. Exactly, and that's what I was thinking about, Barb. It's a lot of pieces in there for $25, but I can't. Laura says, has anyone ever checked out Twisted Allure? It's like Bath and Body Works, but Twisted focuses on spooky Bath and Body stuff. I've heard of it, Laura, but I'm not really familiar with it, because if you follow the old channel, you all know how much I disliked having to film Bath and Body Works. It was the worst video for me to have to film. Like, the store, number one, is super noisy with the loud music that they play. Number two, I'm the only dude in there, and I'm filming, and it's a bunch of women walking around, and I'm this weird tattooed guy walking around with his camera filming a Bath and Body Works beauty soap fragrance store. It's just the most uncomfortable situation to possibly be in. The only way it could get worse for me is if Victoria's Secret started releasing a Halloween collection and I had to go in Victoria's Secret and film that. By that point, the cops would be called on me because I'm walking around Victoria's Secret filming with a camera, and then that's a wrap then. It's just, I'm toast. I'm done. It's like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? But I do it regardless, and I get through it. A lot of times when I have to do Bath and Body Works, I'll just film it and then I'll just bring it back home and do a voiceover, because even with your editing software, noise reduction does not do anything for Bath and Body Works. You can hear the song playing as clear as day in the background. So yeah, Will says, "Hey Derek, I actually shop there all the time. I really like the men's line. I mean, I know they have a men's line now, Will, but it's definitely not my favorite place to go to. No, no. Yeah, exactly, Kelly. Bring my sister with me. That's exactly. James, thanks for joining into the chat as well. So yeah, this week was mainly food reviews and some shopping hauls and all of that stuff. Next week, the only food on the channel to celebrate Summerween. It's becoming a tradition with me, I suppose. I wasn't gonna do it, but I went to Aldi last night and found a watermelon on sale for $2.99. So sometime next week, you got a watermelon, jack-o'-lantern, watermelon lantern, whatever you want to call it, carving a watermelon for Summerween with a jack-o'-lantern's face is coming next week. But that's not all that's coming. As you saw in the community post, next week I've got a documentary coming out about defunct 80s Halloween candy. You're not going to want to miss this, because I've got some super rare pieces that I'm going to be showing off in that video from my personal collection. James says, "I really don't like how YouTube has rearranged the platform. It's going to take a long time to get used to." Kristen Marie says, "Carving watermelon is fun for Summerween. We do it every year also." Last time I carved something was on the old channel, and it was around October. I took a pumpkin, and I don't know if you guys saw the video. I carved it into the Halloween 1978 jack-o'-lantern. So I'm thinking I may try to carve the watermelon with the same face into the 1978 movie poster for the original John Carpenter Halloween. Instead of doing it as a pumpkin, I'll do it as a jack-o'-lantern, this time on a watermelon. Whatever I'm trying to say. I don't know what to call it. A jack-o'-melon? I think that's what I referred to it last year. A jack-o'-melon. It's messy, Barb. It's messy. It's way messier than carving a jack-o'-lantern because it's stickier. Last year, I think I opened it up. The first cut, the juice flew and it hit me in the eye. It's definitely a messy task, but I'll get through it, and then I'll enjoy some watermelon, and I'll probably give it to the chicken outside like I did last year, Peck Peck, and everybody will have a big feast off of the carved watermelon. I thought about doing a pineapple, Kirsten, but I don't know. I'm just going to probably stick to the watermelon this year, because you probably saw the short I made with the playoff of the 1978 Halloween movie, but this time it's got the watermelon instead, so that's going to kind of be the thumbnail. So I'm just going to kind of roll with the watermelon instead. Yeah, so here we go. That's next week, and then the defunct 80s candy is next week, and then I've got another video of some more super rare, weird, vintage, strange online pickups that I've recently acquired. You're not going to want to miss that one. This video is going to kind of be a part 2 of the Halloween marketing video series that I started about 2 weeks ago. So it's going to kind of be online pickups, but Halloween marketing part 2. So that's the 3 videos that's coming out next week. And to kick off the week, I was going to have a premiere on Sunday night, but I started thinking, Sunday is Mother's Day. Everyone needs to spend time with their family, whatever they're doing, instead of gathering around the TV at 8 o'clock on Sunday night. So Saturday night and Sunday night, it's just going to be a few little shorts here and there, and we're going to pick back up with premieres starting on Monday, so everybody can have their weekend this weekend to spend with family and do whatever they need to do. And then Monday we'll start bringing the spooky family back together and having a blast. So that's what we got. Yeah, power tools. Maybe I will use a power tool to get through the watermelon. It'll make it go a whole lot quicker. Maybe that's the route I will take, since you guys are giving me ideas here. Not a bad idea at all. So all that's coming out next week. And of course, we'll end next week on Friday night with a LiveSCREAM. So there's about 4 videos and a LiveSCREAM. The whole week is booked, and there could be stuff sprinkled in between if we get more drops. As for Summerween, as you saw this week, I tried Summerween Hunt number 3 or number 4. Still coming up short. So as I mentioned to a lot of you all, I think America's 250th celebration merchandise is kind of taking up the real estate at retail stores this summer. So by the time that's over, by July 4th, I think they're going to pull that down, and I think we're just heading straight into Halloween. I don't think Summerween's going to really be a thing this year. I think that for the most part, it looks like Kirkland's is the only one that's really getting on board with that. So I think we're going to have to start realizing that between Kirkland's and possibly if At Home gives us something, Summerween just is not happening this year. But a lot of you seem to enjoy what I found at Walmart with Mr. Potato Head playing the part of Uncle Yam. Uncle Yam was cool. For $12 and some change, I almost was ready to take Uncle Yam home with me. But I own a Mr. Potato Head already, so got to watch what you buy these days. If you already own something, there's really no need in buying it twice, just in a different form. So I left Uncle Yam on the store shelves, but I know a few of you said that you picked up Uncle Yam, and kudos to you because Uncle Yam is definitely a cool piece. I enjoyed seeing them. Mary Beth says, wonder if they will have the Yoshi popcorn holder. Draven says, cool Katang. All right, let's see. Sam says, I'm sure Home Goods and Dollar General will get some Summerween. That's what I thought, Sam, but Home Goods is pretty heavy on the 250 stuff also with the patriotic Disney merchandise, and Dollar General pulled down the Dolly display that they had, the Dolly Parton display, and I thought immediately after that came down, okay, Summerween's going to come in its place. Nope. They pulled down Dolly, and now it's like a spring, summer strawberry shortcake display, so I don't think Dollar General's getting on board with it. And when I ask Google and AI, I get nothing for Dollar General for Summerween. So, guys, I think Summerween this year is not going to be really that big, and I think a lot of the sales last year were disappointing. I know we've talked about this a lot in the comment section. A lot of that stuff at Walmart got marked down to like $1, $2, and they still couldn't get rid of it. So I think for the most part, they're thinking, okay, this stuff isn't going to really sell, so let's just focus our attention and retail strategies on America's 250th birthday celebration, because that'll make us a whole lot more revenue. Thank you, Vasquez, for mentioning the shirt. Super cool shirt. Got it at Target last year. It's one of those unisex t-shirts, and I was able to find one to fit me, thankfully. Got it on clearance, as a matter of fact, for like $5 last year, right after Halloween. So, yeah. Nicole, I think you were the one in the comments today that said you got Uncle Yam. Yep, and confirmation right there. She's the one that bought Uncle Yam. Cool piece. Cool piece. Great way to celebrate the 250th birthday with Uncle Yam. So, guys, that's what's coming up next week. We saw the stuff from this week, the food reviews and more failed attempts at Summerween. The only place other than what I mentioned that I know have a few Summerween pieces, I think there's supposed to be a beach towel and a ghost floaty, a pool float, I think that Kirsten Marie found at Five Below. So, yeah, I think Five Below's only got like 2 or 3 items themselves. So, not a lot to be found anywhere. So, don't waste your time and your gas going around looking, because it seems to be a losing battle for sure. And like I mentioned last week, only certain Kirkland's stores are getting Summerween stuff in. So, save yourself the time and just order it online or check and see if your store is one of the ones that's carrying it. As for that, I think Summerween is toast. But Spirit Halloween this week, we'll touch base on this. Kirsten says, yeah, Five Below doesn't have much. I just found the alien beach towel the other day, but nothing else besides that and the ghost float. That's kind of what I thought. Hobby Lobby, yeah, 4K Media guy, Hobby Lobby was one of the earliest ones with the carvable decorative pumpkins they put out like a month and a half ago. Couldn't believe that. But Spirit Halloween, we'll touch base on that for just a minute. There was leaks online last night. I didn't bother reposting it because I figured so many of you saw it, because everybody was basically clipping the same like 1 second clip of the inside of the Egg Harbor Township, where they're trying to make heads or tails out of what the theme is this year, but all you can really see is the Harvey Carver pumpkin animatronic. So I really don't know what the theme is. The theme is rumored to be some kind of creepy summer camp, as they're saying on the Spirit website. So more details on that coming as it progresses, but there was really no point in clipping a 1 second clip where you can find that elsewhere. Let's see. 4K Media Guy says, I'm hoping Michaels comes with a vintage theme this year. I'm coming to the United States in June to see my national soccer team. I don't know what to tell you about that, buddy. I don't know about people giving accommodations. Sam says, years back, actually did vintage style Halloween. I was talking about that with my sister the other day. As a matter of fact, Hobby Lobby, as far back, or as recent back, I guess, as 2014, I think, was the last year I remember Hobby Lobby having Halloween. And I really don't understand why they stopped it. It's not like they have to go out there and they have to go to the extreme and do gory animatronics and all of that. They could easily have just stayed on board with their vintage style, retro style, safe stuff. I really don't see what's wrong if Hobby Lobby were to sell a die cut, jointed skeleton. I mean, it's a skeleton. We're all made of it. It's facts. You know, you're basically selling science. That's what that is. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, our cartoon haunted houses. Every neighborhood's got a creepy house. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just factual. But they've got their beliefs, so that's on them. All right, Barb says, missed that media guy. What am I missing here? Will says, I told Heather that last night. They got villains. So Kelly says, it's supposed to be Camp Harbor Lake to Egg Harbor Township, where the flagship Spirit is. That's what I keep hearing, Kelly. It's supposed to be some kind of a camp, because that's what it says on the Spirit animatronics. It says what's haunting the camp or whatever. I refresh it every day to see if any new animatronics have come up, but nothing just yet. Yeah, October, exactly. That would be the best way to find it, by doing Google and searching your area, and then hopefully you can find some accommodations, so when you come watch soccer, you can have a place to crash. But yeah, definitely, Breeze, thanks for mentioning that and pointing them in the right direction. Sam says, I did buy vintage pumpkins and cat plates and platters from Hobby Lobby. See, I mean, they had cool stuff. The only cool stuff I really see at Hobby Lobby now, it's like little vintage Matchbox cars, and they do have scratch and sniff stickers when back to school starts. Now here's where it gets funny, okay? Hobby Lobby will sell back to school scratch and sniff stickers, and one time I got lucky and there was a pack of Halloween scratch and sniff stickers at Hobby Lobby. So one slipped through the cracks there because they didn't realize that they were selling scratch and sniff Halloween stickers in that shipment that they got. So joke was on you for that one, Hobby Lobby. Ha 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 ha, as Nelson would say from The Simpsons. How's he go? Ha ha. That's for you, Hobby Lobby. But anyway, that's all of the news, I think, in a nutshell, for the Halloween weekly roundup this week, with Spirit Halloween, Summerween, Foodoween, if we want to call it Foodoween, for the Stranger Things Happy Meal. And apparently there's different Stranger Things boxes. I thought the box I got was the only one, but apparently there's like 2 or 3 different boxes that's out there available also. So, as far as I know, nothing new coming up with food reviews. I haven't seen anything coming up with Krispy Kreme or anything like that. So I think we're all set on that for the time being. Spectacular Mon, thanks for joining into the chat tonight. Glad to have you here. Yeah, Kirsten, I saw yours in your short. You got like the most lame duck Stranger Things 85 box possible. I did get the cool one with like the animation on it, so that was pretty cool that I got that one. I broke the toy in the process though. you saw that video, Derek couldn't figure out how to open up a toddler toy, basically. Supposed to just turn the knob, but I'm just trying to yank the door open and just broke the toy altogether. But it is what it is. Balling on a budget. Thanks for joining into the chat tonight. I know I've probably missed some of you coming in my mouth so much, so I apologize. Let's see. Laura says, I just can't believe how fast Halloween and fall are coming. Once 4th of July is over, it's game on. I can't wait. Casket Crew says, Derek, I have a question. Does your antique store have Halloween items up all year long, or is it like ours and doesn't usually go out until September? Glad you asked that, Casket. It's getting better. We're starting to get so many antique thrift stores around here now that it's here's how the South was, okay? The South was a place where, not that I'm a drinker, the South is known for you couldn't buy like, beer or anything like that on a Sunday until after 12. You basically can't sell Halloween until September, hence why Spirit Halloween here opens in September. It's like the South has a lot of old-fashioned mentality when it comes to a lot of stuff, and when it comes to thrift stores, they have this belief that we can't put Halloween stuff for sale until Halloween because nobody's going to buy it. But thankfully, it's getting better, and they're starting to put some stuff out year-round, like a few blow molds, some Ben Cooper costumes, and stuff like that. So hopefully, the more stores we get, the more merchandise I'll be able to find. But it's still, for the most part, Casket, you find the biggest amount starting in late August and September, but there's a little bit sprinkled in here and there that I am finding, and that is a step in the right direction at least. So I'm all for that. All right, let's see. What am I missing here? Vaz says, Joanne's had great Halloween items. There was a year they had a haunted theme with great prices. I think I remember that, Vaz. I think I do remember that one. I think that was about 3 or 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken on that. I think it was around the time that the old channel was just starting. So can't wait to see what Big Lots is going to have this year also. A lot of us talked about that in the comments this past week. Big Lots last year had their whole reboot where they rebranded and reopened. And their Halloween selection wasn't terrible, wasn't great, but wasn't bad. So I'm hoping year 2 for their reboot is going to be better than last year. So here's hoping that Big Lots starts dropping some stuff maybe around July. I was thinking that after possibly Memorial Day we would start seeing some drops, but I think that, like we were talking about, I think they're going to milk this 250 thing all the way from Memorial Day right to the 4th of July. Hopefully they don't keep it running all the way until Labor Day. I don't think they will, because July 4th is technically the nation's birthday. So I think after that, the stuff is going to go away and we can start moving on to spooky season. So that's kind of how I'm feeling about all that right now. Nicole Luna says, I hate Hobby Lobby, but did get a few strawberry shortcake things there. I did see they were putting out fall looking pumpkins. Yep, they had a whole section when I was in there, Nicole Luna. Let's see. Peggy says, we don't have... thank you, Sherry, so much. Awesome, Sherry. You don't have to do that. Thank you so much. We don't have At Home or Cracker Barrel in Oregon. Wow, Peggy. I would think that you guys would have at least a Cracker Barrel there. For some reason, that's really surprising to me. Same 4K Media guy. Cracker Barrel surprised me. Nothing yet. Or Target online. I think Target is definitely going to hit the end of May. That's kind of normally their MO when they start dropping towards the end of May, if I remember correctly, because the last few years I remember doing the little videos showing all the blow molds and the hide and eek collection towards the end of May. So I think Target's going to kind of stay on track with their normal schedule. So I'm thinking the next thing we got coming up really big is going to be At Home, which has already given us the circled calendar date for June 22nd in store. So if you do have an At Home in your area, be sure to mark down that date for June 22nd so you can hit up your At Home store and see what you can find in stock. Draven says, can I say something? Can we get the Evil Dead back with Ash? The new ones are too gory and they aren't cool characters. I was just thinking about Evil Dead today and Army of Darkness as you mentioned that. Will, funny you bring up Evil Dead. Barb says, after the 4th, it is game on for Halloween fans. Exactly right, Barb. Exactly right. Sam says, I got to drive to Amherst, New York for Cracker Barrel or an at home. For me, at home, I've got to drive up to Raleigh. About an hour's drive, but normally I make it worth my while because I'll go up there and I'll find all kinds of thrift stores, and they have a Toys R Us inside of a Macy's, so I'll check that out and see how terrible that is because it's inside of Crabtree Valley Mall right now, which, from what I understand, Crabtree Valley Mall is starting to become a dying mall, which is surprising because it was such a thriving mall, but seems to be the general consensus for just about any mall now. They all seem to be on the way out, no matter how popular they were at one point in time. So I'll make it worth my while when I make the commute up to Raleigh. Barb says Target is after back to school for Halloween. In store, yeah, Barb. Online, they'll normally drop it around the end of May so we can start ordering the stuff up. But yeah, definitely they have to do the back to school setup, and then after they break all that down, then they finally start putting up Halloween. But last year it was a little bit different at Target. I remember Target had aisles for back to school, and then they had aisles for Halloween. So it was kind of a 50-50 mix last year here towards the end of August, which I was all for, because if that was the case, because school doesn't go back in North Carolina until late August, that would have put me not seeing Target or Spirit Halloween until well into September, and that's just too late in the game. I'm ready to see the stuff early August, July, now even. But anyway, yeah. Let's see. Nicole Luna says, no Cracker Barrel at home where I live, several hours away. That's wild. Autumn says, June 22nd is so far away. I'm saving my Mother's Day money for it, though. I think that's a good idea, Autumn, because I think that from what we saw, at home is going to come on pretty strong with some cool pieces this year. 4K Media Guy says, I'm lucky. I got 2 at homes 25 minutes apart in each direction. You win the night, 4K Media Guy, because so many of us have them spaced out so far in between. The fact that you've got them that close, you've got it. You're bound to find something at one of the stores. Valerie says, Nicole, my at home is an hour away. Seems like that's the general consensus here. Everybody's is about an hour away. Draven says, we are lucky Greensboro has everything except Kirkland's. Well, you're not missing a lot with Kirkland's anyway, Draven. Not missing a lot at all. They have the Spooky Town for a good deal at home. Let's see, Katang, my at home is 12 minutes away. Just got it a few years ago. That's you've got the quickest route yet, Katang. Awesome. All right, Mary Beth says, my kids wanted to a steak whenever I went to Kirkland's. That's another one of those stores. It's not as bad as Bath and Body Works, but Kirkland's is another one of those where I don't really feel like I'm in my comfort zone filming, because it's one of those more high-end stores, and it's not my comfort zone. They're looking around like, what's this guy doing here? What's this weirdo doing in here? I'm just looking for Halloween. That's what I'm doing. Let's see. KR1 says, hey guys, feel like Target didn't have much last year. Target was pretty good last year. Target's been coming pretty strong, KR1, with some of the retro-inspired stuff like the vacuforms and the honeycombs and the tissue dancers. They're doing okay. I'm not gonna knock Target. Target's kind of the only one that's bringing up some of those retro vibes, and I'm hoping this year they come a little bit stronger with it. They keep doing what they're doing. I'm interested to see what they can do this year. Let's see. Makeup says Brad is a true icon. We'll love to meet him. Laura says I live in New Jersey and work in Wilmington, Delaware. There's a Cracker Barrel on my way to work right before I cross Delaware Memorial Bridge. I sometimes stop at Cracker Barrel on the way home. It's always worth popping in because they've got blow molds for almost every season, and they're cool to look at. You know, I don't really collect blow molds for every holiday, specifically Halloween, and I recently acquired a bunch of those battery operated Target blow molds from about 5 or 6 years ago. I wasn't planning on buying them, but I found them cheap. The person made me a deal on them, like 5 or 6 blow molds for a great price. You'll see that coming up in a recent video in the next week or two. So stay tuned for that. I've got to clean them up because they're a little dirty. Looks like they've had them in storage. So the price was right, and I'm just gonna transform them into plug-ins. So in another 10 years, they'll be considered vintage. So that was my mindset. I'm like, well, if I don't get them now, in 10 years, they'll all be like $100 each. So it's now or never. So went ahead and got them, thinking ahead. Sam says, I wanted to grab those blow mold skull candles last year from At Home. Will says, I like gore, but I just don't need it that bad. Terrifier, I love Art the Clown, but the movies are hard to watch. Yeah, you got kind of to the extreme after part two. After part two, I just started losing interest in Art the Clown. It really just had no depth to it. It was just, you know, the gorier, the less we have to actually put a storyline into it, is the way I feel. And I'm sure that Spirit Halloween this year is going to come hard with Terrifier and their normal stuff that they always flood the shelves with. So I'm already anticipating all of that. Let's see. Autumn says, Derek, do you purchase Spooky Town? I don't really buy a lot of Spooky Town, Autumn. I have like 2 or 3 pieces in my collection. The fact for that is that I have so many vintage pieces that I like putting out. If I went down the Spooky Town rabbit hole, then I have no room for it. I'd much rather take $150, $200 and go on a mad shopping spree on Amazon or eBay and find die cuts or vintage stuff, or I can do a whole lot more with that than I can for just one piece. But I do enjoy looking at Spooky Town. It's one of the highlights for me. I love going in. I love seeing the whole setup. It's just not what I collect, but that's the beautiful thing about Halloween is there's so many different aspects of this holiday for what we all collect. Some love Spooky Town, some love blow molds, some love animatronics. I'm not an animatronic person, Again, they're big, huge, overpriced pieces that I could take all of that money and buy so many more pieces instead of just one piece. So that's kind of how I look at stuff. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's kind of how I do it. I like my Halloween junked up, vintaged up, cluttered up, whatever you want to call it. That's Halloween to me, the old look, but not saying I don't like it and appreciate it. It's just not what I really want to pour my money into, if that makes any sense at all. Let's see, what am I missing here? Target was late to the game, but they got the goods eventually. Sherry says it's supposed to be a horror comedy. All right, I missed out on that one between you guys. Kristen Marie says Target was pretty good last year. Hope this year too. 4K Media Guy says I feel Walmart needs to step up for Halloween like they do Christmas. I agree. Walmart is kind of, bringing up the rear when it comes to Halloween. I don't think they've got their Celebrate brand, but I don't think they've really come to terms to understand how big Halloween is. Now, they have to understand this to a point because they were like one of the only ones last year that did Summerween. When it comes to Halloween, Walmart cannot compete with Target. They can't compete with Michael's. They can't compete with At Home. And what is considered the nation's biggest retail company, you would think would come stronger with Halloween for some reason. Now, here's where it gets even funnier. I'm always putting in the vintage commercials. Go to YouTube one day, type in vintage Target Halloween commercial, vintage Kmart Halloween commercial. You'll find tons of them. Type in vintage Walmart Halloween commercial. You won't find really any. So I'm assuming at some point in time, Walmart never really even had Halloween commercials. I don't even really remember Walmart having sales papers promoting Halloween. So for some reason, I guess Walmart has never really been strong with Halloween. Go figure on that, right? The nation's biggest retailer kind of drops the ball with Halloween. Go figure. Katang says, yes, Walmart Halloween isn't that good. At least my Walmart isn't. It's everybody's, Katang. It's all the same. It's all the same. Sam says, Target here in Western New York doesn't put out Halloween until late September because of back to school. See, that's a shame. Same thing here with Spirit Halloween and Halloween Express. I don't understand that. Thanks, October. October says, if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up after the live and during the live. You know, you can hit it now. Definitely helps push the algorithm out, and we can help keep growing this spooky family so we can keep having all these fun chats and premieres that we have week after week and night after night, because 2 months have gone by, and guys, we're doing this thing. We're definitely doing this thing. Sherry says, I think there are 3 episodes out I have to watch. Okay, you guys are doing what you're doing. Uh Lala, Lala. I know I'm probably messing it up. It's got to be one of them. Hi, Derek. Happy Friday. Happy Friday night to you. Also, KR1 says, I really like the John Darien collection when it was released a few years ago. Love the retro vintage stuff too, of course. Will says, again, I love Art the Clown himself, so I'm all about that aspect. David says, Art the Clown is everywhere. Yes, he is, David. Art the Clown is just flooding the shelves. I say it all the time. He's risen to popularity quicker than Freddy Krueger did in the 1980s. If we had 1-900 numbers still around, I'm pretty sure it would be 1-900 Art the Clown, where you could call and you could hear him blow the little horn in the phone. So those days are gone now, though. Kelly says, Spooky Town video store from last year is awesome. That was a cool piece, Kelly, and I think the skating rink this year is definitely the one that I'm looking forward to seeing in person. 4K Media Guy says, do it, need Spooky Town, just get one a year. Let's see, makeup, I have the video store, and it is, says Barb. Nicole Luna, I have a whole room of Spooky Town. Wow, that is amazing. Does anybody remember what year Spooky Town came out? Sometime in the 2000s, I'm thinking. Early 2000s, mid 2000s. Does anybody remember an exact year? Katang says, I agree with you about Spooky Town, Derek. It's too expensive for me. There's other things that I'd rather just get my money invested in. Katang for sure. Pennywise, not the Brooklyn one. I know, Will. We talk about this all the time. I'm stuck on the 1990 Pennywise. The modern Pennywise is garbage to me. He does not scare me. He doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry, dude, but that one nowadays, he's just lame. It's all about the one that was the Sunday night movie. Steve Vaz says, I agree with you, Derek. I like spooky towns, but I'd rather spend Halloween money on year-round decor. Exactly, Vaz. Get more money, more merch for your money is what I'm saying. More bang for your buck. Sam says, kind of paint jobs the last 7 years is very primitive. David takes up much space, and I collect way too much stuff now. I feel you on that one. I definitely feel you. I need to start charging admission and opening up a North Carolina Halloween and toy museum around here somewhere. Nicole Luna says, I also collect vintage ceramics and blow molds. Barb says, I have the Spooky Town video store next to the cinema. 4K Media Guy, I wish Spooky Town could get some license, and oh, that would be cool if they could do stuff like that. Exactly. And Autumn says, I will say I'm glad stores do repeats of merchandise. They're always, I mean, that's cool because, yeah, if you do miss out on something and if they do a repeat, it gives you a second chance to try to come back and try to grab up what you missed. Lala says, I own only one Spooky Town piece, which on clearance at home. Yeah, I couldn't believe when I saw some of the Spooky Town stuff for sale at home last year. It wasn't until a few years ago that I realized that Lemax can sell their stuff everywhere, but they only do a few Michaels exclusives. It took me a while to wrap my brain around that because I thought that Lemax exclusively had a deal with Michaels, but that's not the case. They just do exclusives for Michaels. So I finally figured that out a few years ago. Kelly says vintage and blow molds are the best. Absolutely, absolutely the best, hands down. Halloween Queen, thanks for joining into the chat tonight. Also, let's see, Laura says, I've always said one of the stores needs to make a Jack the Ripper animatronic. I can see him in the top hat. That would definitely be cool. I could see something like that for sure. I think Lowe's could pull something like that off. I would see something like that at Lowe's or Home Depot, I think. More so than Spirit Halloween. Nicole Luna, I don't know what it is about Kmart, but so many of us affiliate Kmart with Halloween. I don't know where that connection comes from. Until I started doing these YouTube videos, I thought I was the only one that, for some reason, tied Kmart in with youthful Halloween memories, but I started talking about that here on the channel, and everybody else agreed. It's so strange how we think of Kmart and we think about Halloween, and they just seem to go hand in hand together like peanut butter and jelly. It's amazing to me that I'm not the only one that felt that way. Kelly says Walmart definitely drops the ball with Halloween. That they do. That they do indeed. Let's see. Thousand Wolves, welcome into the chat. Walmart rushes through Halloween to push Christmas. I remember last year at Walmart, Thousand Wolves, they had Halloween up still. They had Christmas up still. They had Thanksgiving in one section. If you all watched the channel last year, you probably remember when I was at Walmart and I referred to it as a holiday superstore because every aisle I walked down was different holidays, and towards the end of the Christmas season they still had Halloween on clearance and Thanksgiving on clearance, and they were starting to push out Valentine's merchandise. So towards the end of December last year there was like 4 holidays floating around at Walmart. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Let's see. David says New York is very slow at Halloween. I thought it was just New York. I thought for some reason, North Carolina, I thought New York would be a little bit faster for some reason. Casket says Halloween blow molds or decorations. The past eras can't be topped, in my opinion. I feel that. Balling on a budget. Have you ever been to the White Elephant sale? I have not. Balling on a budget. I have not. Uh-oh. Will's saying something about pizza, so if I don't get to this giveaway soon, this conversation is going to turn to food and everybody's going to need snacks, like how the premieres go, because somehow in the premieres we always end up on the topic of food. So I try not to do that here for the live streams. The live streams we try to stay away from the food stuff. But if we get that way, everybody get your snacks ready. La 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 la. Okay, so it's la la. Okay, got you. La 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 la, like the Smurf song. Smurfing all day long. Got you. All right. La 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 la. Now I got it. Uh, 4K Media Guy. Does your neighbors decorate for Halloween? Mine doesn't, sadly. Nope. Like my little cul-de-sac area, 4K Media Guy. I'm the only one that's got some stuff up outside, and I have lightly decorated outside, but for the most part, it's inside for me where I can enjoy it. So let's see. Mary Beth says, I love the Smurfs. I know, Sherry. La 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 la. All right, Thousand Wolf says, make a spooky town train room. Sam says they got to get better on the paint jobs on those pieces. Let's see. Jordan is putting out a Halloween shoe. I mean, I saw that the Air Jordans have a orange and black themed shoe coming out in October, and they're actually calling it the Halloween shoe. That's actually pretty cool. Vasquez says KR1. Okay, they're carrying on with themselves. Autumn. I love the new It, but the second one was horrible, and of course, still love the original. Barb says I just started collecting Halloween in the last 5 years, so that's when I started with Spooky Town Video Store. Valerie says, so awesome media guy. And Will says, I don't think it was horrible. Autumn. All right, so looks like I'm pretty much caught up because you guys are doing the chat amongst yourselves right now. Let's see. Sherry says, I bought the vintage-inspired turkey blow mold by John Darien at Target last year. I forgot about that one, Sherry. Kirsten Marie says, Kmart did have some good Halloween stuff. They definitely did. That's where I got my first ever Strobe Ghost and my first ever copy of Halloween 3 on VHS that was put out as, I guess, a bootleg copy by Good Times Video back then. So, great memories for me all around at Kmart. And blow molds there. My mom used to get blow molds there all the time, too. Kelly even says, I love Kmart back in the day, especially at Halloween and toy shopping at Christmas. Kmart was great during Christmas time. Going there and just walking down the toy aisle, looking at the video games. And the best video game selection in the 80s and the 90s, though, has to go to Toys R Us, because you would go look at the plexiglass case, and if you saw the video game you wanted, you would take the little paper ticket up to the clerk, give them the paper ticket, they'd go retrieve your video game out of the back. But the worst thing is if you saw something like Super Mario Brothers 3, which was a sought after game, or Mega Man, went to grab your ticket, There was no tickets there because the game was sold out. All the other kids were going to be happy on Christmas, but you were late to the party, so you didn't get your game. Let's see. 1960s orange haunted house blow mold grabs a high price, but not the most expensive, says Sam. Vaz says, what do you think about the rumors regarding Hocus Pocus 3 in the making? Here's a funny story. You guys probably won't even believe this when I tell you this, okay? I watched Hocus Pocus for the first time about 6 years ago. I know, right? Big time Halloween fan here. I couldn't do it. Like, I thought Hocus Pocus looked cheesy, and I couldn't do it. I thought it was overhyped. And then one Sunday night, ABC was showing it as a Sunday night movie, and me and my partner, we were sitting on the couch, and I looked at her and I said, we should give it a try, right? We should give it a try. So we finally watched Hocus Pocus for the first time like 6 years ago. I was like, okay, it's not a bad movie. So then the following year, Hocus Pocus 2 came out, and they even did Hocus Pocus 2 cereal. I thought Hocus Pocus 2 was alright, but Hocus Pocus, the original, was way better. So I think Hocus Pocus 3, for the answer here, will probably be alright. But Hocus Pocus, the original, I think is always going to be the best. And when it pops up on ABC each year for Halloween, we put it on and we watch it because, to me, having only watched it 6 years ago, it's still relatively new and fresh for me. So there's your shocker of the night. Derek only watched Hocus Pocus for the first time like 5 or 6 years ago. So, shock, I know, right? Let's see, Valerie says, all right, she's talking to media. Let's see, Sherry, I've been looking for the haunted house, Sam, balling on a budget. I like antiques and vintage. 4K Media Guy says, for Hocus Pocus, all they have to do is follow the sequel from the book. It has original characters and story is decent. Uh-oh, somebody's talking about food. I'm missing something here. October's talking about brownies. Wheel's talking about brownies. Katang says, Sherry Etsy has a red and purple haunted house blow mold. All right, Sam says, I'm ruling my house glows so you can see it from miles away. It's kind of how mine is out here at night. Just a string of orange lights during the fall does wonders. Let's see, Sherry says, did you see they have a set of 4 blinky type blow molds now? I haven't seen that, Sherry. I'm going to have to look that up. All right. Kirsten Marie. I was waiting for somebody to get me. Only 6 years ago. Yeah, only 6 years ago. And the reason for that was when Hocus Pocus came out. Okay, when Hocus Pocus came out, it came out, what, 92 or 93, somewhere around there? It came out around the same time as Nightmare Before Christmas. And by the time I was 13, 14, I thought they were kid movies. So I was like, I'm not gonna watch these, you know. But then I kept hearing about Hocus Pocus, Hocus Pocus, Hocus Pocus. So I was like, this movie, there must be something to it. So I'm gonna watch it now. I saw Nightmare Before Christmas when I was 12. You know, they advertised it in the comic books all the time back then. So naturally, I had to watch that, and it was a good movie. Corpse Bride, not so much. Nightmare Before Christmas was good, but yeah, Hocus Pocus, I just thought that at the time it came out, I was like, I'm too grown for this. I'm not going to watch this. And somehow, in my teenage years, I kept pushing it off because I was more invested in the slasher movies, the horror movies, and I was like, this is more me. I can't watch Hocus Pocus. So finally, yeah, 6 years ago, I sat down and grabbed my snacks and gave it a try. So let's see. Autumn says, well, Derek, it's us ladies that love Hocus Pocus mostly. I mean, true. I mean, I won't debate that. Hocus Pocus largely has a female fan base, but I won't take away. It's a good movie. It's a really well written movie. I should have given it a try a long time ago. I'm not going to say it's one of my favorite must see Halloween movies, but you know, it's a good movie regardless. It's a good movie. All right, what am I missing here? Sam says, knowing what I know, Disney Productions lost my. I've heard a lot about the Disney stuff too, Sam. Nicole says it's Halloween fanatic, but don't scary or horror. That's always surprises. Derek, have you seen Halloween Town? I have seen Halloween Town. Kelly, I have seen that. Yeah, Casket, another Hocus Pocus is apparently in the works, as well as Beetlejuice. I'm not sure when all of these are supposed to be coming out, though. Autumn says, I watched Hocus Pocus on opening night at the movie theater with my friends back in the day, so it'll always have a very special place in my heart. Laura says, I never cared for Hocus Pocus. Valerie says, Autumn, I saw it at the theater with my kids. Good times. Will says, we were teenage boys, so the only cool part was Sarah Jessica Parker. But see, that's the thing, Will. I wasn't into Sarah Jessica Parker. Sarah Jessica Parker wasn't my type back then. My type back then, I've mentioned this in a live stream before. It was Alicia Silverstone. Alicia Silverstone. Like, I don't know what it was. She had like that crooked smile. Like, I don't know. She was in the Aerosmith videos. Like, Alicia Silverstone was the one when I was a teenager. She was my teenage crush, whatever you want to call it, for sure. Like, I remember that like it was yesterday. It was all about Alicia Silverstone. And then apparently my mom used to tell me that when I was like 5 years old, she would turn on a TV show called Moonlighting, which starred Sybil Shepherd. Now, I don't remember this, but she said that when I was 5 years old and she would put on Moonlighting, I would say, oh, that's my girlfriend, Sybil Shepherd. Sybil Shepherd. I couldn't even pronounce her name, but I thought she was my girlfriend for whatever reason. I don't remember that. My mom, she swears by it, so I'll take her word for it. That's what she used to always tell me. Let's see. What am I missing here? David says, I can say I've never seen the movie The Thing. The Thing is a good movie. The Thing is a good movie. The Fog is a good movie. I really love The Fog. Casket Crew says you should check out the film Scarecrows. I have seen Scarecrows. Casket Crew. That's a fantastic movie. The full movie is on YouTube, as a matter of fact. That's the one, if I'm not mistaken, Casket Crew, where the what is it? The prisoners are in the airplane and they land down in the field, and the house is possessed by the spirit of the scarecrows. That's the one you're talking about, right? Casket Crew. So yeah, that's a movie I've seen and it's fantastic. And then there's the whole line of DVD releases that came out from the late 90s, early 2000s called Night of the Scarecrow, Revenge of the Scarecrow. All of that stuff is fantastic also. Autumn says, do you consider Burbs a Halloween movie? I mean, I guess it could kind of fall in the line of a Halloween movie, I would say. Yeah, it did. Thousand Wolves. It also starred Bruce Willis, but apparently Sybil Shepherd was my girlfriend back then. Yes, I have, Kelly. Yeah, that was Alicia Silverstone's movie before Clueless, I believe. The Crush. I think that's the one where she was playing the part of the babysitter. I think saw that many times. I definitely went down the Alicia Silverstone rabbit hole back in the day. When I tell you guys I had a thing for her, like that was my teenage crush. Weird. Not so much anymore though. I'm not really into Alicia Silverstone anymore these days. Let's see. Miss Britter, thanks for joining into the chat. I started Stranger Things Tales from '85. I don't think I like it, but it got sucked in, and that's what everybody told me this week. I've got to give Stranger Things another try. I've got to do it. I got to get past season 1 apparently to fall into season 2. And from what I understand, once I hit season 2, I'll be reeled in, hook, line, and sinker. So I've got to get back to it. All right, what am I missing? Yeah, Casket. Good Scarecrow film for sure. Autumn says Katang. All right. Oh, you guys are talking about the Thanksgiving movie. Man, Thanksgiving was... How about the Black Friday scene in the Thanksgiving movie? Man, that was rough. Blue Bonnet, thanks for being in the chat tonight. I'll watch Scarecrows, Halloween, and The Fog over Hocus Pocus. It's a cute movie, but not for me. Blue Bonnet, I think you just said it best right there. Hocus Pocus is a cute movie. I'll watch it, but I won't go out of my way to watch it, if that sums it up. All right, so I guess we're an hour into this live stream. Man, where has the night gone? Yeah, I got to drink out of my Ultimate Warrior water bottle here. One moment, please. Man, that wets the whistle right there. Can't believe an hour has gone by already. This night has flown by. I don't remember that, Fulton. Thanks for joining into the chat, by the way. I don't remember Bruce Campbell doing a Black Friday movie. I don't think. I know, Draven. The live is over. It's over. Oh, man. So, there we go. We talked about this week, and we talked about what's coming up next week. So, did I leave anything out? Miss Britter says, are you going to do a bucket list for fall or Halloween, like take us with you? Most likely, for sure. There'll probably be a few haunts that I'll hit up, for sure, like I did last year. And I was talking about this last week. And the LiveSCREAM, possibly going to either do a live from a real-life haunted house on Halloween night or a real-life haunted bridge on Halloween night for a special Halloween night LiveSCREAM. Kind of got that idea from Halloween Resurrection, where they're filming at the old Myers house. So stay tuned for further details on that, because I do have lots of stuff planned for the upcoming Halloween season. So stay tuned. There's going to be some cool stuff coming for sure. Fulton says it's been the last 5 years. Zombie Outbreak on Black Friday. Pretty sure that's the name. He plays a store manager. I'm going to have to check that out, Fulton. I'm going to have to check that out. Drum roll October, says Will. Casket says, every time we have a good time, the day speeds by for sure. It definitely does. Casket, you need to swing by for some of the video premieres sometime, because they're great too. I mean, it's just like an AOL chat room, but it's still a fun time. Autumn says, Derek, if you ever put the Bystol Large Jack-o'-lantern on your giveaway, I'd love a chance to win that. I've owned the Bystols you've been giving away for a few years now. Eventually, it's going to be probably that one, because that one's available on Amazon also. And that's kind of how I do all of that. I just, buy the stuff directly off Amazon and ship it to you guys if you win. So it's time to get to that, I guess. And I go over this on a weekly basis. If you win the Bystols tonight in the giveaway, my contact information is on the home screen of the channel page. You can contact me via email or DM me on Instagram, so I know where to ship the Bystol cutouts to you if you win tonight. So that's how you get up with me if you win. What's everybody saying brrr for? Everybody cold or something? I know it's a weird May right now, but it's not that chilly that we got to say brrr. It's not that chilly, is it? Come on now. Let's see. Mary Beth says rum pum 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 pum. Rum pum pum pum. Now Mary Beth is singing Christmas songs. All right, let's see. Fulton says the movie also has... Okay, it's... Okay, I'm going to have to check that out, Fulton. Thanks. All right. Casket says, I need you to know you're not wrong. Thousand Wolves is out. Hope you have a great night, Thousand Wolves. Thanks for stopping by. Zombieland is fantastic, Sherry. I've seen Zombieland 1 and 2. Need a Twinkie. Definitely need a Twinkie now that you mentioned that. So there we go. Now we're in food. All right, Peggy says, everyone tells me I will love Stranger Things because I grew up in Indiana and I'm an 80s kid. Maybe I will give it another chance. I mean, same. I mean, 80s kid here in North Carolina, Indiana. Kind of the same concept, I guess. Cornfields everywhere. But anyway. All right. Here we go. Time for the giveaway, I guess, right? Because it's almost bedtime for me. So, as the old Montel Jordan song goes, this is how we do it. All right. Tell me when to stop. You guys know when to say stop. Then I'm going to pull 2 names out. You guys are going to choose the right or you're going to choose the left. So we're going to keep shaking it up. Like the Cars would say, shake it up, shake it up. All right, so keep going, keep going, and keep going. Dang, Will, can you get it out? You said "s," and then you said "st." You said everything but stop, Will. All right, everybody said stop, except for Will. He couldn't figure out what he was trying to say. There he goes. He figured it out. All right, so we got number 1, got number 2. All right, let's mix them up, back and forth. Let's mix them up, back and forth, back and forth. All right, so here we go. You got right, you got left. Which way we going? All right. Will says left. Sherry says right. Sam says left. Kirsten says left. All right. Looks like left is going to win. Oh, I don't know. Now it's right, 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 right. Oh, man. Looks like we got more rights than lefts. All right, let me count these. All right, everybody stop. Stop, 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 stop. Stop at Vaz. Stop at Vaz. Let me count them. Let me count them. All right, all right, all right. All right, I think it's official. Right has won. Right has won. All right, right has won. All right, here we go. And the winner is... Okay, she's not in here tonight. Karma Reptiles has won tonight. Karma Reptiles is always in the comment section, so I don't think she's in the live tonight. So Karma, I will put it up in the community post section to let you know that you have won tonight's prize. The runner-up tonight was, let's see, Monica. Monica, you were the runner-up tonight. Hopefully, next time, Monica, you can win, Monica. Or Sarah. Sarah was the runner-up the week before. Tammy was the runner-up the week before that. So congratulations tonight to Karma Reptiles for winning. I'm sure that I'll be able to get up with her easily because I've got her over on Instagram as well, so I can easily contact her over there without having to do a community post. So, yeah, Sarah, I think she's kind of the ones that kind of hops in late. So, next giveaway will definitely be when we hit 5,000 subscribers, which I don't think, guys, is going to be far off. So, keep hyping the videos if you can, because that definitely helps tremendously. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate the hypes. It would be nice, Will, if it was next Friday if we hit 5,000, but I don't know if I'm going to hit 450 subscribers in a week. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. We'll have to see. Probably sometime in June, I'm assuming. I'm thinking. We're getting there. Thank you, Autumn. Thank you so much. I'm trying, Will. I mean, here's the thing, okay? Now, I don't want you guys to get burnt out on my content. I don't want you guys to be like, oh, he's uploaded another video. It's another Derek video every night. So, that's why, we're going to take the weekend off. You guys spend time with your families this weekend. You guys, I'll post some shorts up this weekend, some fun shorts. And then we'll pick back up again on Monday, and I'll have some cool, fun content for all of us to watch. And this weekend, just enjoy your time with your family. I know, Sherry, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sam, thank you so much. Much appreciated. Kelly, thank you. Will, thank you all. You're all amazing. I just don't want to burn you guys out on video after video after video. I know it's like, oh, he's got another premiere, And if it gets to the point where you guys get burnt out on the premieres, let me know. I'll just drop videos, like I used to on the old channel. Don't want you guys to get burnt out on the stuff, So, again, interaction is everything on this channel. I listen to the feedback. I listen to the comments. It doesn't fall on deaf ears. So, definitely thank you guys for the support. The last 2 months has been amazing, and I can only imagine where we're going from here with Halloween season right around the corner. We're going to have a lot of fun coming up. So, again, congratulations to Karma Reptiles. I'll be sure to let her know that she won. Let's see. Miss Spritter says, I love all the old cartoons and shows mixed into your videos. Nostalgic. Yeah, we were talking about that in the premiere the other night. I'm literally trying to do something that I don't see a lot of other content creators do, with the opening of on the next episode of Derek's Black Arts Spooky Club, and then with the opening credits where it says directed by, produced by, and then the old commercials, and then right up to the end with the outro and the TV station sign off and the old color bars. I'm literally trying to make this something that I don't see other people do, and that's trying to make it into like just not a vlog, but like a mini TV show, something different, you know, because there's so many vloggers that do the same thing. Thank you, VazQuiz, so much for that. Much appreciated. You don't have to do it, but much appreciated. Just trying to make it into something special that you don't see everybody else do. So if that makes any sense, I'm trying to make the channel that I always wanted to see. And the fact that it resonates with a lot of you is simply amazing, because that means that we're all kind of on the same brainwave and we all like the same type of stuff. Thank you, Kirsten. She says, I love that each video is like a TV show. The outro and vintage commercials are the best. And I'm trying my best not to run repeats on commercials. It's hard, but I'm trying my best to find fresh old commercials each time to mix in, so you guys aren't force-fed the same commercials in each video. That being said, of course, there's going to be repeats because there's only so many vintage Halloween commercials you can use. But I try to spread them out so sporadically that when you see them again, they feel fresh again. So I'm trying. Will says, more Elvira. Kelly says, your channel is unique, and I always look forward to them. The Retro Vibes. Casket Crew, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Again, you guys don't have to do that. You know, like I told you a long time ago, there's going to be no memberships over here. Never going to be anything behind a paywall again. That was left in the past on the old channel. No more of that's coming. Casket Crew says, you're my favorite Halloween creator. That right there, you know, that's more than enough for me. If I'm doing something that you look forward to, and some of you have said that, you know, you guys watch me each day. Kirsten last week, I gave her a fit about it. I was just teasing her because she said that her and her husband watch me before bed, and I was like, okay, so I guess that means I'm sleep therapy. So I was teasing her about that last week. But anyway, I like to have fun here and mess with you guys. That's what a spooky family does, right? So anyway, you know, I've gotten to know a lot of you all outside of YouTube. You know, Will Draven being one. Me and him talk almost daily on Instagram. Athena and Tommy, Spooky Horror Goddess, we talk a lot. Kirsten, we talk a lot. All of you guys are definitely the spooky family, and you all help keep all of this going. So without you all, I say it all the time, I'm just a guy here sitting here talking to a screen, but you guys have made this happen, and that's why we're all here tonight, and that's why we're going to do this every Friday night until I no longer can comprehend how to make a video. And I hope that's a very, very long time away. And if my daughter's watching this, I want to give a shout out to her, because technically this is her first Mother's Day weekend, because in August she will give birth to my first grandchild. So happy first Mother's Day to her, and happy Mother's Day to my partner as well of almost 20 years. She raised some amazing kids, and if you're a mother out there watching this, again, doesn't matter if it's kid, animal, whatever, happy Mother's Day to you all as well. And I hope you have an amazing Mother's Day this weekend. And I know personally, I miss mine this year because she's been gone for many years, but she lives on in my heart. So I'll take that with me for her making me who I am. So on that note, thank you all. And the next premiere is Monday night at 8 p.m. And that is the Creepy Toys video that kicks off the week. So I hope you all consider joining us for the premiere. It's always a blast. So thank you all. Congratulations to Karma Reptiles tonight for winning. I feel you on that, Mary Beth, for sure. Thank you, October Breeze, for holding down the chat tonight and moderating. I know the chat breeze is getting more and more steady each week, but shout out to October Breeze. She's been with us since the Black Hearts Club. She was a moderator over there, and she followed me over here, and she's moderating over here, and she's been holding it down. So shout out to her. Thank you, Breeze. You do a great job. All right, everyone, that's it. Be sure to watch Psycho this weekend. Watch Friday the 13th this weekend. The best Mother's Day movies that I can recommend. And love you all, spooky family. And until next time, I'll see you on the dark side.